me's in the office and we're doing some research. Sometimes when we're running products like this, I like to print off the label and just print out the crops we're using, so you ain't got to fumble through a bunch of where you don't have to fumble through a bunch of pages that don't even pertain to you. We're looking at 3 different products this year. Never used this one before. This is the first time I've seen this one. I like reading the label and looking at the active ingredients and stuff. I really like what I've seeing from this one. Is pretty similar product to Triva Pro, except it's just a little different active ingredients. They both have an azoxystrobin and the propiconazole in them, but this one has the group 3 component, I believe, is different in them. So the bulk of our corn fungicide is going to be Triva Pro, but we are going to run some Miravis Neo on it, and we are going to run some Veltema, and we're going to try all 3 on some soybeans. So, but I know that right there is good stuff. But I just like to look at new stuff. You don't never know. That's one thing I don't like about this Veltema. You only got 2 modes of action versus 3 on the Miravis Neo and the Triva Pro. Another thing I like to do is look at their recommended rates, and then look at the percentage of active ingredient and see how much active ingredient you are actually putting out on the field per application. Triva Pro and Miravis Neo both are a 13.7 ounce use rate, and Veltema is a 7 to 10 ounce use rate. When you look at your active ingredients here, you know, 17.56% versus 10.5%, 11.9%. So I like to kind of like to see what amount of active ingredients you're getting. I actually was looking at a cheaper option on soybeans, and it's actually a product I've used before, but that one product was about half the cost. But when you looked at the active ingredients, he was getting little or nothing. Not that I'm recommending this, because I don't like cutting rates, but you could use a half rate of this Miravis Neo and still be getting more active ingredient for the same money as that cheaper product. So do your homework, guys. Look over these labels and stuff, and look at some independent research. Don't just go by their trials, because as when a salesman comes and visits you, have you ever seen one yet that their product didn't win the trial, Robert?
Oh, they always win.
You know,
their product's always better.
And they got a long list of reasons why it's better. So you do the research for you. Fly me to the moon. Let me play up there with those stars. Shut up! They never quit crapping.
Maybe that's the code.
Thought it was the other. Let me look again. Nathaniel, I hope that's not the forklift we had to open it with. We'll have to look at the instructions again. There ain't many of us running fungicide this year, being it's been so dry, but we're gonna give her a try. They went all in on the Max NCMB. This sweet driving little rig, it got power steering. Really? Nathaniel, we better not put that on YouTube.
Does it got brakes?
Yeah, I don't want to hit that pretty truck. I might like running the forklift if do it like this all the time. Gotta get that extra jug of Valtimo. They kind of got a river on it. Come on. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was getting this pallet out. Hey, that's the thing. That's the thing about working with a short fork. It takes a little while, but you can still get it done. Notice the sexual innuendo. It really wasn't raised high enough for what we need to do, but I'd almost give him $500 for it.
Yeah.
It'd be handy in there in the shop.
Oh yeah.
Robert and I was talking, that's all that's in here is Valtimo, but it don't look like a lot of fungicides being run this year, because normally this time of year in 2021, when we was getting plenty of rain, we like to never got worked in doing our fungicide. But really like Nathaniel, Aerial Solutions of Tennessee. He does a really good job for us. Travel Pro's still my favorite corn fungicide, but we got some Miravis Neo and some Valtimo to try this year. Master Locks, our drift control. And then we got a Terramar, that's our stress mitigator. That goes over on the high yield corn that we're trying. The high yield's out the window, but we're gonna see her through to the end, see what happens. Tissue samples come back good, didn't show it needed anything, so just fungicide and some stress mitigator. Trying something a little new today, guys. Gonna run a little fungicide on the corn with the sprayer. This is a small scale test this year, and we may be looking at it on a larger scale next year. Robert is adding our Master Lock in there. With fungicides, we always run Master Lock. With herbicides, we always run Airlock. You can run Master Lock with herbicides. We've done it in the past, but it just gets a little more expensive. So we got our Master Lock in there. We're gonna put 1 gallon of Miravis Neo. I've heard it called different things. I've been calling it Miravis, but I believe the correct name is Miravis. 3 modes of actions on this fungicide. Supposed to have some plant health benefits. To be honest with you, we don't really have much disease pressure right now, but we're trying to keep this corn healthy. It's stressed. It's early in the morning and me and Robert's already sweating, so we're wanting to get this out on this corn while the leaves are still opened up and the corn is still relaxed where it'll take all this stuff in. But we'll be running 13.7 ounces of Miravis Neo, 40 ounces of Terramar, and then I've got a thing of Maxim Boron. We're gonna be running 16 ounces of Maxim Boron. We're gonna get all this in there, and then we'll bring you along and see how this sprayer does running some tall corn. Robert's pouring into Caramar. That's supposed to be a stress mitigator product. And this corn's it's definitely under stress. Now we're putting in our Maxim boron. I've applied more foliar boron this year than I ever have. It really showed up on my radar this year when we pulled tissue test on the weight. And we've been applying soil applied boron in our dry fertilizer program. But it ain't been deficient on every tissue test, but we have had it come back low a time or two. So we're using it. I think it really made a huge difference. I think we gained a few bushels on the weight using it. I think it's making a difference for us. What I'm going to do now is going to turn my agitation on. I'm going to turn my pump on. We should see our pressure start coming up here. What that's going to do is going to stir this tank mixture up. Right, I've got 275 gallons in the tank. We're running them dual fan nozzles there. You see it's got 2 tips. And I'm going to have to be running slow because we don't want to break this corn off. So I figure that's our best thing. We're going to want this to have really good coverage because we want it to coat every leaf of the plant. We're going to go in here, we're going to tell it's running a fungicide. And then we're going to go into our next page. I need to idle that down a little. Alright, we're going to go here to our tank mix. First product is going to be, let's just go with our fungicide, and we're going to say we're going to have to put a new one in there. You don't have to do all this to spray, but I'm pretty big on the documentation portion of it. If you're gonna do it, you need to keep up with it. We're gonna be running 13.7. Next product's Maxim boron. We already got it loaded up, so it's gonna be 16 ounces Maxim boron. So we should finally be ready to roll. We need to set our line. Right here you see I have my line set. We're gonna want planter. We're gonna want to run the way the planter did. And we're gonna hit accept. Now I'll probably manually drive it myself, but I will use the auto steer to turn on to the right set of roads. I'm saying we're getting pretty good coverage. honest with you, this corn really ain't even worth fungiciding, but we're just experimenting. They told us all last year that if you ran a fungicide, it helped with the stress on this corn and make you make more. So we're gonna see if that theory holds true. We had corn on this farm last year, and we'll see if we beat our last year yields. We're gonna have a check because right there was the end of the line. So we're gonna take her out and go spray some beans. Just a little bit of pollen on the sprayer. We swapped to spraying beans. Straight back, you got her. Hey, old truck driving proficiency. I guarantee you he probably did better than 3/4 of the CDL drivers out there today. Well, it's late afternoon and we're trying to let things get cooled off a little here. And we're over here fungiciding some beans. You see Robert there, he's got some boxes. We needed some room off the trailer, so we threw them off the trailer and we'll come back over here with a pickup and get them. But I'm over here on this field of beans that made so sorry last year. This is the field that we ripped in the fall and then come back here and ripped it again this spring. And a lot different story than last year. We got 1/4 inch pods here in the top. We're still blooming. We're starting to enter pod field. Last year I was over here, this is the field where the name of the video was Riding the Struggle Bus. Well, I was over here June the 28th replanting these beans. The beans, they came up, they used all their vigor coming up, and then they used all their vigor up and just kind of died. But pretty happy with these beans. This is the first soybean fungicide we've run this year. Y'all saw earlier in the video, the plane is getting ready to run our corn fungicide. It is hot as blue blazes. And if I talk to you anymore, it's going to be in the air conditioning.
If anybody was wanting an update on their wheat beans, they are up. And they look pretty. They just need a good drink of water. This is the last field we planted, but they all come up and look good.